You're now listening to the Something Good Podcast Network. Please press any key to continue.
You don't know about the other side of the pyramid? The fifth side? It's called the floor, you dumbass. I just want to make sure he realizes there is a fifth side to the pyramid.
And once you open your fucking mind of unfettered goddamn fairness.
I know all of them, and I believe none of them, which makes me an expert. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Cryptic Conspiracy Cult. This is your host, Chris Morris, and today we got Mikey Black.
Hello, I am Mikey Black.
He's going to tell us a little something special about a little cult he might have been a part of for about, 4 years of your life?
Close to 4 years.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about how that happened.
Well, like any other cult, my mom made me do it.
Oh,
Yeah,
don't
because
you
I
hate when
was.
that happens?
How old was I? Probably 8 years old when my mom decided to start taking us to the Kingdom Hall of Jehovah's Witnesses.
Kingdom Hall, yeah, that's all their churches are Kingdom Halls.
Yeah, it's not church. We don't call it church.
Yeah, I met a couple about 3 or 4 when I was in high school. They weren't devout or anything because they would have got their asses kicked. No, they told us when we were about 7th, 8th grade. I had asked about like, hey, what's this all about? Because they had the Watchtower magazines and stuff and pamphlets, and I was like, what the fuck is this? And they're like, yeah, we don't do birthdays. They don't do blood transfusions. They don't celebrate Christmas or Easter like everyone else. They go to Kingdom Halls. They don't go to church. They don't vote. They don't smoke or do drugs. Damn near don't drink. Quite a different little band of people. Not too worse though, because I grew up around Southern Baptists, and they just said they didn't do all that shit and still did it.
Yeah.
So you said you started at 8 years old. Is it your mom that just decided to get into that kind of thing, or was it just like a short of the moment kind of thing?
No, I think she was in it for a while before she came to the States from Germany, and then kind of fell off from it, and then they always find you somehow.
They find you?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Get back into it. And then actually our neighbors across the street were also part of it. So that was a big in.
Yeah, so
you get those real friendly neighbors that are...
It's kind of hard to... I don't consider it really a cult. It has cult-like tendencies.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's a cult either.
Yeah, but it is different. It is. I believe.
I think the word is lame.
Yeah. Oh yeah. If that's the word that all churches lame. Yeah. It kind of reminds me of what is it called? Fishing, where they send people out to door and try to get you to join. Ours is always Mormons.
Yeah.
When we had Mormons show up to the door. I remember like our road growing up is just a terrible road to drive down, and they had a busload of them just drop off a bunch of people. They started going door to door, these young kids in suits and khakis and nice shoes. I'm like, why the fuck are you walking down my goddamn road? Like, it's not, I wasn't even like one of those guys who's like, why are you on my property? Like, why would you walk down this road?
Right.
It's so fucking terrible. You drove down it. It's fucking terrible. It's fucking terrible.
And they're committed to those khakis and button ups, like fucking middle of summer, dude.
Dude, man, it's fucking 85 degrees. Yeah. I ain't in the mood for some Bible thumping right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Come in the winter when I don't have groceries and
I'm scared.
I don't know how to build a fire.
Got seasonal depression.
Yeah, that seasonal affective disorder. That's how you really get them. Yeah, like I think that's kind of funny because one of the weirdest cults I ever looked up was the Rajneeshi Param, and they were in eastern Oregon and Idaho, and that area of America is very desolate. There's a desert there on the western.
Right at home.
Yeah, so the border of Idaho and Oregon was a desert, and then here comes these Rajneeshis, these Indians and people from Northern California and all these hippies and shit who are just like free love and peace and shaking fucking tambourines, wearing pink and orange and with beads and shit, worshiping this dude with a big white beard.
Right.
And it's just like, what the fuck are they doing here? And it's just like, they caught them on the way up, man. They just caught them, and they were out here in the cold ass desert building their own little quarter of paradise. But I remember we had 2 Jehovah's girls come to our house in Charlotte when I was living down there with a buddy of mine, and we had no furniture in our living room. We both had, our own separate bedrooms and bathrooms, so we didn't really entertain people a lot.
Right.
And I remember that it was just in the middle of the afternoon. I wasn't working that day. They happened to knock on the door. I answer. I'm just like, I would invite you in, but it looks like a serial killer lives here. I had one lawn chair that I bought from the Goodwill for $5.
In the living room?
Yep, in the living room with a box of sci-fi and fantasy novels.
It sounds like every college apartment.
It was. Ever. My buddy was working on his PhD in physics at the time, and I was just there to help him out.
Hell yeah.
But no, it was very awkward. And I remember inviting these girls in. I'm just, yeah, you come out. You can sit on the floor.
Yeah.
I was just like, I'm going to stand in room only. You know what I'm saying? And they're like, okay, no, we're fine, blah, blah, blah. I'm just like, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of my house. But the Jehovah's, other than that, I remember of all the churches, all the main ones that I went to, Jehovah's, the Kingdom Halls were never one of the ones I ever went to.
Yeah, well, you're not missing out.
Yeah. I've been to quite a bit. I've been to, synagogues, mosques, chapels, temples, except for the Mormon temple. You have to be an actual Mormon to get into those. But I have been to a couple of events. They all kind of run together. The only thing I can say is the mosque doesn't have chairs. So you're just chilling on the floor.
I think the one of the big differences I noticed, though, compared to, because I've also been to Baptist church and Methodist, and I'm pretty sure I went to a Pentecostal church once.
Snakes and tongues?
There was no snakes, but there was moments where he was just talking fast as fuck.
Like, yeah, he was speaking in tongues, man. Dude, he got the Lord in him.
15-minute service. We were in and out. I was like, shit, this might be the one. This is the one for me.
That's the show, boy. That's the prime time.
This is church.
I remember walking up on one with my great grandpa, who was a Baptist minister.
Yeah.
He believed in speaking in tongues for some parts, but like one of these guys he had up there with him had some snakes, and I was just like, this is the show. You know what I'm saying? It's like this is prime time, motherfucker. Yeah. And it was like, when you grow up, you find out that a lot of those snakes don't have fangs, or they're devenomized and stuff like that. I'm just like, you're breaking kayfabe, man. WWE, you lied to me. It's all fake. You're telling me it's all fake. Oh man, it's a heartbreaker, man. But yeah, so the Jehovah's Witnesses, I was reading up on some of the stats here. We got
the stats.
The stats, yeah, man.
How many died in the Holocaust?
Quite a bit, actually.
Yeah.
The Jehovah's Witnesses were not welcomed by the fascist Nazi regime. They were one of many, along with the Gypsies and Jews and quite other. Some Catholics, actually, that's a fact.
Yeah.
The Baptist congregations in Amsterdam weren't as big as they were when they first started, because that's where Baptists come from, is Amsterdam. That's where you get women preachers, actually. The real story of Baptists was they first were the ones to have black ministers in America and women preachers overseas. But going back to Mormons real quick, 8.6 million members across the board. Not quite as good as the Mormons, just saying. You pump them fucking numbers up, man. Right. But yeah, they started in Pennsylvania in 1876. They are very strict on the Bible. From what I remember,
they're very strict on their translation of the Bible.
Yes, so very literal translations. The real big one that's different from a lot of Protestants is the Book of Revelations.
Yeah,
very serious about that. If those people don't know,
if you want your kids to grow up with anxiety and OCD, put them in Kingdom Hall at the ripe young age of 8.
Yeah. So you obviously learned about the 144,000 allowed into heaven or saved,
the chosen ones.
The chosen ones of the 12 tribes of Israel, to be saved, and Jehovah's are the only ones allowed in, which is like logistically in my mind doesn't add up.
Right.
It's just like if I had a group of people that were supposed to be raptured to heaven, I would want less people invited in, so I could kind of save me a spot. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's like this Coliseum only holds 144,000 people, and you're selling tickets at penny prices, motherfucker. You need to jump them fucking numbers up, man. You need to let's cherry pick who we let into this show. All right, Taylor Swift ain't playing for everybody. All right, these are $9,000 tickets. Goddamn it.
Goddamn right. They actually had conventions a couple of times a year.
There's one going on right now.
They'd rent out a huge Coliseum and
Yeah, there's one going on right now in Helena, Montana. I looked up before I got here, and
8 hours.
yeah, it's a stacked. It's going to be a stacked fucking show. It's a stacked show, man. Fucking Megadeth is opening. Like, holy shit! It's Megadeth and Pastor John, man.
We went to, I think 2, but for sure 1.
Mm-hmm.
And after the second day, a group of us went to go eat at whatever restaurant was close by. And me and my brother were stoked because on the TV, one of the TVs, they were playing Pokemon. Mm-hmm. And this was during the Johto series.
Okay.
It was the Red Gyarados episode, like just awesome shit. And then the other parents,
Super Saiyan 3 shit right
the
there.
other parents were sitting there like, we don't let our kids watch this because it's witchcraft and blah, blah, blah. And me and my brother were just like, well, you can't change the channel, so get fucked.
Oh shit! Oh man, that's so funny because like that's when I remember around those days of like when the conservative Christians were taking a lot from the more fringe groups, and going down the path of no Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, witchcraft, all that.
They were hardcore in that group.
Yeah, and actually, there's a little bit of a history behind the Jehovah's Witnesses and witchcraft. When it comes to later on past the Salem era, there was a small group of Jehovah's Witnesses in the 1880s, 1890s, who had accused a local woman of being a witch because in that local area in Pennsylvania, I believe, her husband had died and she had inherited a farm basically through her husband. And the farm did real well for the next 2 years, like more, it did better than it did when her husband was alive. And they accused her of witchcraft, of killing her husband and cursing the fields and whatever, or wishing the fields to be true, whatever.
Shit.
And they tried to burn her house down, and the authorities had to step in and stop them from doing that. And I'm thinking, like, oh, goddamn people, man! I swear to God.
Isn't there a Stephen King short story or someone similar, like it's the exact opposite, where a farmer kills his wife and then his whole farm goes to shit?
Yeah, 1922 is the story. Yeah, rats show up and it's fucking rough. Yeah, it's a pretty wild series. Aaron Eckhart's in it, I think. I think he's the guy. If not, it's Thomas Jane. But yeah, the farmer who defies God and has his whole shit burned to the ground, covered in rats and corn. But yeah, so like some of the other stuff going into it, going to the more literal beliefs, is they don't believe in the Trinity, Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. They don't believe in the Holy Ghost part. Yeah. And they don't use symbols like the other Protestant and Catholic religions of the cross and stuff like that heavily. The Catholics obviously use the whole crucifixion scene as their symbol, and Baptists and Methodists and Presbyterians all use just the cross. Y'all didn't have that at all?
Yeah, no crosses. They taught us that Jesus was crucified on just a singular, like, straight pole in the ground.
Wow, that sounds more uncomfortable than the cross.
Yeah.
Christ. Like, I gotta say it, like, no pun intended.
Christ on a stick, dude.
Yeah, what a show.
Yeah, that's a big one, and then there is no heaven when you die.
Yeah, so go into that a little bit.
Jesus comes back, fights the devil, fucks him up, locks him away for like 10,000 years or some shit, and then we inhabit the new paradise earth where there is no sin and everyone loves each other and the animals no longer kill each other to eat their meat. But then 1,000 years go by and he comes back out to tempt us again.
Fuck yeah.
And then I guess whoever fucks up for good, and then everyone's
destroyed. Then we get a new Bible.
Yeah, then we get a new Bible.
Yeah, like I'm a big fan of the Book of Revelations. That's my favorite book. Like, it is written by a madman. Yeah. If you get a chance to read Revelations, I've said this before on our last one of our Triple C episodes with Christy, we were talking about mythical creatures. My favorite mythical creatures are the ones in Revelations. You know, the 7-headed beast with 10 horns and 10 crowns and just coming out of a fucking lake of blood. You know, that's pretty fucking metal, man. That's some Judas Priest fucking album cover art. You know,
right.
But yeah, so like going into the 144,000, that I do understand their belief that it's singular, only them, no others. No Baptists, no Catholics, no saved people. Just Jehovah's Witnesses would be the last on earth.
No, they get sucked up into heaven.
Rapture.
They get to go.
And inherit.
And then the rest of us are stuck on earth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much this is the end type shit.
Yeah. Well, no, because the earth is going to be like a paradise kind of deal. So it doesn't end.
Yeah, so
we just don't get to see Jesus and go
all
to
of
heaven.
us get, well, in Revelation, Jesus shows up on a steed called Faithful and True who shoots swords out of its mouth. So there's that. We get to see that.
But I'm sure it also varies from like location to location, kind of
I
deal.
know.
And it's also interesting because there was never one main guy that would speak. Every Sunday it was a new person up there. Whether it was like someone like that was traveling and I guess fucking taking this shit on tour, or other members of the congregation would like literally have to study shit and basically write a whole fucking essay.
Damn.
And like, all right, it's your turn Sunday, and get up there.
Everybody gets returns.
It wasn't preachy at all. I'll give it that. Like they stuck to their guns. Like every hour felt like a full on like class, like education session.
Silent lecture.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a teacher like that. I had went to a world religions class on a Saturday morning of all fucking things, which was a mistake because I'd be out Friday night all night having to drive down south to a fucking town away to take this community college class taught by a Methodist. And I was just like, oh God, this is aggravating as shit. Our book was pretty cool. It was beginning to end from Genesis to Revelations. And it was just like a breakdown of all the books. And
nice.
I only paid attention toward the end. I really did. Because the guy kept pissing me off. I was pissing him off though because I was always late with sunglasses and smelling like weed.
And what a hard turn.
Yeah.
I remember I've read the Old Testament all the way through.
Yeah.
Because I had to for Remember the Holocaust class in high school.
Really? They made you read the whole thing?
Yeah, as part of understanding Jewish history. Really, it was just a workaround of we can no longer teach the Bible in school, but here's a way we can still do it.
Yeah. We had Bible history. It was a history you could take alternatively other than U.S. history. And I was like, oh, what a cop-out. What a fucking cop-out. I'm just like, you guys can't learn dick about presidents, but you can learn about this guy sitting embarrassed to kill children. And I was like, oh, you magical motherfuckers. You got to be shitting me. But, so, like, we had, growing up, I was in a Baptist church, and we had some visiting preachers every now and then. It was very rare. A lot of people who came were part of, like, a circuit. Local circuit who worked like funeral homes, hospitals, and other Protestant churches.
Right.
And I remember growing up in like our Sunday school, it was always preachy. We go to the church itself, and that was an hour. And it was very structured.
Yeah.
We didn't have a big fire and brimstone type guy. But we did have a preacher once. My dad wanted to go to this one church near where he grew up. And we were all for it. Fine, let's go. It didn't bother me until I started meeting some of the people. And one of them, and this is a Baptist church, and it was a old school style Baptist church. It was a nice church, but it was an old school way of doing things. And I had told my dad, I said, hey, you know that guy doesn't believe dinosaurs existed, right? And my dad says, what? Because my dad, he went to school just like I did, and he learned about dinosaurs and everything like that. No time he was in church did they say that he knew of. So he goes fishing with this guy, the preacher. He goes fishing with him. And while they're on the boat, he told him that. My dad came home, and he's like, you're right. He fucking said that shit. And I'm just like, Jesus. I told you, man. And like, the saying I always heard was, dinosaur bones, in quotations, quote unquote, were sent here by the devil to confuse the Christian mind.
Yep.
But go with that with Jehovah's Witnesses, they don't believe themselves to be Protestants at all. They believe to be their own sect of Christianity. I found that out.
Surprisingly, the topic of evolution never came up either.
No. I do kind of admire the fact that they are very simple about their beliefs. It's very literal translation of the Bible, as literal as we can be. And I kind of understand the end time part of it.
Right.
Now, did they tell you like it was coming soon? Type thing?
Every goddamn week.
Every week, yeah. You're on the gun, man.
If you, I don't remember the years exactly. I think it was the 80s, maybe 70s. They were like really leaning into that doomsday like
a lot
church,
of them were.
And like there was a few guys that made predictions and had people selling their homes and like just doing all sorts of stupid shit
money,
to prepare for the end. Yeah,
I'm selling all my clothes. I don't know none of this shit. No earthly possessions. There was a guy back in 2013 in New York. He had spent all this money, people's money, to buy billboards that say the end was coming, and it was coming fast. And he was in Times Square on the day it was going to happen. Nothing. All these reporters show up. Nothing happened. He's like, I might have got the date wrong. And he's like, oh, it's in October. No,
it was
October.
A fuzzy connection when I was talking to God. I couldn't really hear him that good.
Yeah, dude had Verizon. I had fucking AT&T. And they goddamn dropped the call. Goddamn. But like he said, it was like in October, and then it shows up October time. Nothing happened, and it just ruined his goddamn life.
Whoops.
I do like what he said though at the end. He had passed away, and before he passed away, he said basically it was a genuine apology. It was like, my bad. I was wrong. And he quoted I think it was a verse in the book of Matthew. He's just talking about how no man on earth or angel in heaven shall know the end or hour of day. Only God knows. Yeah. And I'm just like, I'm just going to use that every time someone says the end's coming. I'm like, you'll never know because only God knows, motherfucker. Like, don't call him motherfucker. They hate that. They'll spit out the fucking cracker. They don't. Now, you guys didn't celebrate your birth. That's always the funniest one. Is Jehovah's Witnesses don't celebrate birthdays.
Birthdays, yeah.
Why is that?
Let me do my best to remember. There's some story in the Bible. I think some like king's daughter or whatever wanted something for like her birthday, and she decided to have the head of one of the important guys in the Bible.
Oh, it's the one that wanted the head of John the Baptist.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So because of that, they determined that birthdays are evil, and we shouldn't celebrate them because.
Wow, that's a stretch.
No shit.
That's a stretch. That woman demanded that. God, what is it? It's not Delilah. It's not Ruth. It may have been Ruth or Deborah. Oh, there's so many like weird names in the Bible that are just casual names now. And it's like. I don't think Mikey's in there.
That's why. That's why.
That's why. Because the way he wanted the head of John the Baptist.
Yeah.
Well, I guess if you wanted to put a pin in it, I guess that'd be fine. This bitch.
Why don't you guys celebrate birthdays anymore? What do you see?
This
2 years ago.
This woman wanted to kill a holy man for her birthday. Wow. That is that one thing that ruins the class for everybody.
Yeah.
Like, I remember they told us that. I remember in school they would always been like, well, because Raul here kept talking, now we all have silent lunch. I was like, what the fuck?
Fuck you, Raul.
No, yeah, but like, why all of us, bitch? It's just like they told us that at work the other day.
Isn't the goddamn military?
They told us that at work the other day. They're like, because some of the new people are kind of slow at our work, that every time we're slow during the week, if we're the slowest shift, we're going to work a 6th day. And all I could think of was, take the slowest people who work the line, make them work a 6th day of the week. That way they'll be fast for the rest of the next week with 1 day off with new people who will probably quit. Genius.
Wow. Shit.
Yeah, that's what I heard. And that's why I took a fucking day off.
I'm going to come up with a bullshit resume and get...
Now, you said it was around like 4 years?
Yeah.
What was the kicker to get y'all out? Was it so your mom was like, I really want to make this goddamn birthday cake?
No, it wasn't that. My mom's still kind of, I don't know if she's like full into it, but it was, my brother's older than me, and then we just kind of got to that age where we, I guess, could kind of see through the bullshit. Yeah. And then also having other friends that were in other churches and religions and just kind of
bowed out.
You're 12 years old, you're at a sleepover, and then that one friend's just like, you guys think God actually exists?
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, oh, shit, you know what?
Yeah, I've heard a lot.
I've been thinking about this for a while myself.
Yeah, that's not locker room talk, that's sleepover talk. That's where the fucking atheists are, hiding under the beds. Fucking sleepovers.
But it was that, my dad never went with us. He probably came along like fucking 3 or 4 times total. Yeah. So he was like, he grew up Baptist and shit like that. Military man for quite a while.
That's a lot of travel.
Yeah. So didn't really buy into the whole thing, but wasn't going to stop my mom from going or taking us.
Yeah. Well, that's one thing that's kind of different from actual cults is Jehovah's Witnesses do freely go.
Yeah.
They may contact you.
They definitely reached out.
Yeah, but like they're not like, we're going to take you, like, you don't need to talk to your kids anymore if you want to keep coming kind of thing. Right. Because that is a tactic a lot of cults use of isolation. Scientology is a great example. Hardcore FLDS Mormons.
Yeah.
As opposed to LDS Mormons.
I think a big reason was also my mom is very much like no bullshit kind of person. Bought into the the religious part of it like pretty hardcore.
Yeah.
Like,
now,
I mean, she wasn't annoying about it. Like, she obviously still let us watch Pokemon and Dragon Ball Z and play violent video
nothing
games
more
and
sinful
shit.
than
Like,
an androgynous alien character named Frieza. What the fuck is that? Is that a man or a woman?
A man or a woman?
It doesn't
He just
matter.
eat a crab off that guy's body.
Yep.
Fuck.
Yep.
But
the first trans character we ever saw ever in our lives was Frieza, because we don't know.
Or Zarbon and Frieza.
Yeah.
The fucking green guy that turned in. Yeah.
Both
But
anomalous characters.
It probably just like any other church or organization for that matter. Is you get enough people in a room and you realize half of them suck ass, and some of them are a little up there in terms of like rank, or they've been there forever, and you start to question the people themselves.
Yeah, that's what got me out of
very hypocritical and just.
Yeah, that's what got me out of our last church with the one our dad went to. I would go to Sunday school with these kids my age.
Yeah.
And they were just fucking pricks, dude. Like, some of these people I knew came from money or had money. And that holier than thou attitude.
Yeah, especially we had those money makers and that Jehovah's Witness religion that's very not be a worldly person and
to have a shit ton of money.
Not flex.
Yeah. No, there's no drip in the Jehovah's temple or what it hall.
But Brother John just got a brand new BMW.
Huh. Well, John, way to go, buddy. That's just the most passive aggressive Christian thing. That's what I love. The most passive aggressive thing about Christians is the good for you kind of attitude. God bless, And I'm just like, why are you guys such assholes? Like, this idea of just like poor me, and this guy over here, God's doing him good. And like, no, he did himself pretty good. And like that was one of the sayings I remember hearing growing up. God helps those who help themselves. And I'm just like, that is the most slap in the face faith thing I've ever heard in my life. The whole like, this lady prayed for her whole fucking life and her house still burnt down. This guy fucking came to church on Easter and Christmas and making $1 billion. Yeah, this some of them are right. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not quite the same.
There's levels to this shit.
Oh yeah. Now, did y'all do the tithe at all? Did y'all have to pay money?
We didn't have to. They had a like donation boxes at the front, so you could casually like drop it in on your way in or your way out.
That's a lot. My grandpa had that kind of.
There was no like plate passing or any of that shit.
Yeah. So the church we went to, the Baptist church we went to, had the gold plate passed around, and I'm just like, I'm broke. My dollar's my dollar. That's for school. That's for me to buy Powerade.
I'm only here because I met Ruth and she invited me to Sunday school.
Yeah, flirty fishing. Yeah, that's how that works. That's a true thing though. Another an actual cult actually used that was the term they used, was called flirty fishing. It was the Children of God church became the Family International. Still around today. But that's what they used in the beginning. The guy who ran that had women join. And he said, hey, we want more people to join, and I think you could, spread the gospel this way. And a good way to do that is to have sex with people. And he would tell them, hey, go find a guy, have sex with him, and bring him back. Like, it was called flirty fishing, and that's he said he used a very weird term from the apostles, which was fisher of men. It was Paul and Samuel, I believe, who were fishermen, but would bring people to Christ through, just reaching out, through evangelizing, basically. And he's telling these women, he's like, go out there and, rub one out for Christ and get that motherfucker back in the church, And that was that's how they grew their numbers a lot of times, was flirty fishing. And I think that's kind of what Mormons do, where they send the pretty ones out, the pretty girls out. And Jehovah's Witnesses do that too.
Oh shit! That is one thing I dodged. Never went door to door.
Door to door? No, not for you. You weren't a salesman?
No,
you couldn't sell Jesus.
I think my mom knew it would be absolute hell.
Yeah.
To take us out for a whole day.
I will say, seeing some of those videos of those Mormon guys out there with bicycles and the ties and shit, those guys don't fuck around. You ever see them in the hood? Those videos of when they're in the hood?
Yeah.
And they'll be playing basketball and fucking 2-on-2 with some two guys and fucking hitting, whew, 3, drain it, for Jesus.
For Jesus.
Yeah, they're just like, damn, dude, why don't you play basketball? Not for Jesus. God damn. But I did found this, fun facts about Jehovah's Witnesses and Mormons is because of all their mission work, they're recruited by the government quite a bit. People that were former Jehovah's Witnesses and people that are active Mormons get recruited by the government.
That's funny. I've been thinking about putting in an application to the CIA.
Yeah, so like
just to see what the fuck happens.
So a lot of times they'll go after people who have language skills because those two sects of religion train missionaries to go to places where English isn't the first language. So a lot of Mormons learn a second language very fluently, and they get recruited by the government to do government work like translations and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There was a story of a guy coming out of BYU, which is Brigham Young University, who went in for basic engineering, and he said he got recruited by the FBI like the day after graduation, and they were bringing him in, and then the CIA came along and he got transferred to there.
Oh shit!
To do translation work at the embassy in like Beirut, Lebanon, which is, I don't know if you know where Lebanon is. It's a bad place.
Yeah,
it's right at the corner of God and God forgot.
God forgot.
Yeah, so there, it's a blind spot. But because he spoke Israeli and he spoke Arabic because he did mission work through his church, that's why they recruited him. And a lot of those people get brought into that kind of work very quickly.
Right.
And I think that's kind of fascinating that because of a work of peace, you get brought into something like that very quickly. Did you know anybody that ever like got out that you knew from your original temple that you went to?
Temple
or whatever?
Yeah.
Hall. Place with the chairs.
Got out is a little extreme way of putting it because it was very come and go. Like there was a few people that would show up and then it wasn't for them, so they'd like peace out.
Yeah. Wouldn't
see him again. As far as the people that were there, like since the moment we got there, that had been around for a while, I don't think so.
Yeah, I noticed that a lot growing up. There were a lot of kids who went to church, and then by the time we got to high school and became seniors and graduated, none of them are still in it today.
Yeah,
there's a sharp decline in church membership ever since the year 2000. It's been going down very hard, like a steep down.
Yeah,
I think now it's only like 14%.
Thanks to the internet.
Yeah,
I imagine.
Well, it kind of gives away the secret.
Yeah,
and that's the kind of the thing about that's the downfall of cults was the internet. Scientology that happened to them very quickly when the internet started coming up and these forums started opening up about people who were Scientologists and said, "Hey, I made it to the top tier before L. Ron Hubbard died, and this was what he told me, and this is what was happening." And everybody's like, "What? That's the end goal?
Right?
That's the end? I'll get the fuck out of here. I'm not in." Like, membership died off. There's actually a rumor that Scientology lies about its numbers, and we'll get into it in a whole new episode when we talk about Scientology and David Miscavige and all them. But that all those buildings you see are actually empty. All the Scientology buildings are actually empty.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of funny considering like there is a rise of weird conservatism, but there's a lack of fucking people in it, like in the church part of it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Which probably for the better, honestly.
Yeah. Well, when they tell you can't watch Pokemon, and it kind of just ruins it.
Fuck them.
Why the fuck?
Can't celebrate Christmas.
Yeah.
No
what
Halloween.
Was that like celebrating Christmas again at the age of like 12 and 13?
Honestly, we never. It was just one of those things where, like, you couldn't get back into it, kind of deal. Like, or at least my parents didn't. So it just kind of, like, we didn't go all out for Christmas. It was more of a. And what's funny is because we stopped doing birthdays and Christmas and shit like that, we just scheduled our own holiday. We called it Family Day.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think we did it around my parents' anniversary, so like April, like middle of fucking April, like some random date.
So some blasphemous day, like 420, and y'all just fucking partied all out?
They would just like get us gifts and shit and kind of treat it like it was Christmas/birthday.
I would have laughed if it was on April 20th. Yeah. I think that would have been funny.
But I mean, I got a Nintendo DS out of it. PlayStation
a Pokemon
2.
game, didn't you?
No, this was right when the DS first came out.
Yeah, so
there was no Pokemon game for it yet.
Yeah, no Sword and Shield.
PlayStation 2, got an Xbox.
Damn.
Yeah, Capitalists first, Jehovah's Witnesses second.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I like to hear. Yeah, that's true religion, capitalism.
Hell yeah.
That my money is in my pocket. My money's got a face. My God's got a face, a name, keeps his both eyes open at all times, and don't you ever sleep on your God. I remember I made a joke about that. Me and my buddy Osborne, we would work at all these places together, and we'd work our asses off. We'd work overtime, stay over. You're just putting in the hours. And
yeah,
I was working with this guy named Shondale, and this guy Brandon didn't come into work, and he kept calling out a lot, young guy. And I remember Shondale looking at me. He's like, "This motherfucker must hate money." I'm like, "There's nothing more I hate than a guy who hates money." What a piece of shit. And me and him just like, "Oh, in my Bible, God has many faces, as in Washington, Jefferson, Lincoln, Hamilton, Franklin. You know, yeah, my God has many faces and is green as fuck." One day he came out purple. That 5, I don't trust that new 5.
I don't trust that new 5.
Looks like Monopoly money. But no, I've heard that before. A lot of Jehovah's Witnesses can be capitalists first, and not just that, but like when you talk about, when I asked about giving money, the box at the front,
yeah,
I think is the simplest like churches do, because my grandpa had that. He had the box at the front, and if you want to donate money, yeah, you just get out the pew and walk up and throw a couple dollars in there, some change. Like my nieces did that
right
when they were very little. We did it when we were little kids. You know, just put in a few bucks. And did y'all have like a big congregation at the hall y'all went to?
Yeah. Well, I was a child, so my perception probably a little distorted.
Oh, yeah.
But I'd say at least like 80 people
Yeah.
at a time. They also had 2 Spanish congregations that would meet. Both of those were full, like 80 people sitting in a room.
Hell yeah, that's pretty neat.
And then the worst part was, I think
the
it was
beatings.
the beatings. Well, Thursday nights we would go to like a separate like meeting, so like more small groups, and it was either at the Kingdom Hall or at someone's house. Usually we went to someone's house, and the guy that was
Church
teaching,
houses are weird.
the guy that was teaching it had 2 kids. It was him and his wife. He was clearly older than she was. I wish I could remember their names.
Jeremiah.
Yeah.
And this is my wife.
This is my bitch, Meredith.
No, it's not even that. It's like, I am Jeremiah, and this is my wife, Tammy Lynn.
Nah, these people were white as fuck, dude. Just the most boring people. But they had 2 kids.
German-esque
one about my
names.
age, and then one kid that was, I think he might have been 2 or 3. Clearly, like, probably autistic. Like,
Yeah.
would not sit down. He would randomly just make noises and shit like that. Like, you know, bless his little heart. But he was the one that hosted it. It was a fucking hour. They'd read out of the goddamn Watchtower magazine. And then, like, if his kid was getting out of control, would literally have him over his lap and just, like, spank him. Like, mid fucking, like, lesson.
Yeah.
And then put him down and let him go about his way and then just hop back into it like shit didn't just happen.
Damn.
I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah, that's that old school religion, man. So just like grab the ring of the collar of some poor fuck and just like get down.
It's like, hey man, he's 3.
Yeah.
The fuck?
Now,
I could hardly sit still.
Now, y'all, the Jehovah's Witnesses perform baptisms, correct? Mm-hmm. And you can only be a Jehovah's Witness if you are baptized, correct?
You can only be, I guess so. Like, you can only move your way up.
Yeah.
I guess the ranks or the hierarchy.
Yeah. Now, do you remember what the hierarchy was? Like, was there like a preacher or parishioners?
Nah, it's similar, but they just had different words for it.
Okay, like captain.
Like, you had the elders, which were the people that had been there a while. And then, like, the group of elders or some other ones, which was like a select group of those.
Quorum.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's like similar to like Mormonism.
Kind of.
They have.
And then when we went to that, the big 3-day event in the Coliseum, it was Well, apparently one of the 144,000 was in attendance. Is what they'd tell us.
What? One of the
OGs, man.
One of the 144,000 right there in the
he was
audience.
somewhere in there.
just hiding out,
Just chilling.
like a fucking
That was the word on the street.
witness undercover.
Yeah.
Damn.
The one true witness.
Now, if I was a kid, that'd scare the shit out of me.
You know, it did, man.
Hey, one of God's OG people is right here. With the end times, he's going up. You're down here. So you keep in mind, keep your eyes up. Keep your eyes up. This motherfucker's playing defense, making sure no one else gets in. Just me, motherfucker. There's not enough room on the boat.
Oh, fuck.
Oh man, that's fucking hilarious. That's one of the coolest threats I think I've heard about. Really, it's just like at the Coliseum, like it's like
Yeah, so there's already like, oh god, at least 50,000 people or more.
Let's bring it on. These
Place
are the
was
numbers.
packed.
Yeah. When you said Coliseum, I was just like, dun, 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 dun. I was just thinking of like the Coliseum in Rome. It's just like, which one will be one of the 144,000? Can you dig it? It just starts at the.
They roll out a fucking bracket system.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Who's this? Who's number one seed? Meredith from Kansas City. Number one seed. I think she might have what it takes. How many, Meredith, how many doors do you got? 50,000 doors this year.
She doesn't blink.
He doesn't blink. Has a sales pitch like a motherfucker.
Hell yeah.
What do you sell? OxyClean. And Jesus.
And Jesus.
Something's getting clean in that house. Oh my God. Can you imagine like a religion NCAA championship?
Oh, fuck.
Just fucking like the number one seed versus like a 16th seed. You got like the fucking Mormons who are number one seed, obviously.
I'm sure if we typed in Bible Olympics, we would find something.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There would be like some fellowship, water something church or something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like one of those weird non-denominational.
Fellowship of the Cross!
Yes.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah, just da, 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 da.
Straight from the bowels of Nazareth!
Yeah, it just comes into like that music that da 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 da. It's the fucking NBA championship in the middle of Greensboro Coliseum. Can you dig it? You got a giant effigy of Billy Graham, just like doing this, like waving his fucking arms. Everyone's got their little mascot, but they all just look like Jesus. No one knows which mascot's theirs. Except for the Catholics, that's the one that's on the fucking cross. Oh my God, I can just imagine that. The mascots of your religion, what would it look like? It's just
Cyborg Jesus.
yeah. Or Korean Jesus. Have you ever seen that? This motherfucker, like Jesus is built like a motherfucker. Why is he on that cross? He could have got them gains. It's just
CrossFit?
yeah. That's a cult. CrossFit is a cult. That's a cult.
You think so?
It is a cult.
We'll have to do an episode with Courtney.
Oh God, I would love to talk. All right, tell us about meal prep and killing people. How many burpees did it take to kill a man? Up downs. I get it. I think CrossFit. I will say this: if we do talk about CrossFit, I think CrossFit and P90X are those two exercise things you should do if you were found guilty and spending life in prison. Like if so like some people get found guilty and they're like, hey, you got 3 months to report to prison.
You gotta get in prison shape.
Yeah, like that 3 months. Yeah, you're fucking eating nothing but fucking raw chicken, and fucking like
cans of tuna,
P90X to get your brain up. It's just like keeping that head on a swivel.
Just cans of tuna, protein powder, and peanut butter all in one glass, blended
doing the
up.
UFC
raw eggs.
Yeah, doing that UFC thing is sharpening your shins with a baton. You ever seen that? Where they take a baton to their shins and just sharpen their shin bones so they can kick a dude in the face and just fuck him up. Yeah, I can see Courtney doing that right before. Just, yeah, this fucking bitch lied to me. Told me to put this in the fucking sugar. I thought fuck. Told me to. She gave that cat recipe was all wrong and shit. Oh fuck no.
Just slice through all the tendons of the lower leg with one kick.
Like
yeah.
But he felt like he got hit by Kia. God damn. I can see that. Like we're going off tab. I can see like you and Courtney just going somewhere and this bitch lied to me. Just like deadling a bitch at Applebee's. It's just like damn. God damn. Oh my God. When there's a church that starts doing that shit, starts teaching martial arts, that's when I'd be scared.
Yeah.
Not some karate bullshit. I'm talking about some jiu-jitsu, some fucking taekwondo or something like that, some real takedown shit. Can you imagine that? I would love to see a video of some Jehovah's Witnesses doing
throwing elbows.
But like going door to door and some guys harassing them and he's just like rear naked chokes that motherfucker out. Shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up.
It's just a Chuck Norris style.
Yeah.
Just
Put
him asleep in 2 seconds.
Some Walker Texas Ranger shit. And then leaves a Watchtower pamphlet. Go with God, motherfucker. Running some shit kickers. He just fucking walk down the street. Cold-blooded. Man. Super Smash Bros. Of fucking Colts.
Just hanging outside the back alley behind the 7-Eleven.
So, do you ever think...
beating up heroin dealers?
Oh, yeah, for Christ. Yeah, I can see that. Some Avenging Angel type motherfucker.
Oh, that sounds gnarly.
The Avenging Angel, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, they call me Michael the Slayer.
Archangel. Just jumps off the back, breaks both ankles.
Well, that's like I was talking to a friend of mine about like how villains are described in some movies, and like realistic villains, like people that are seeking revenge coming out of like prison or something like that. If you ever watch a movie called Cape Fear with Robert De Niro, he's got a giant cross tattooed on his back, and the two ends of the cross are a scale, and one has the Bible and one has a knife. And it's just like, and it's like God and vengeance are equal. And he's like doing the whole book push-ups, like he's just balancing himself and just lifting himself up with books, just flat on his hands.
Yeah.
And in the background, the most horrific music is playing, and he's like, "Hey, it's your day out. Pack your shit." And then all he's coming out, it was the fucking prison clothes, and all he got in prison was that fucking tattoo. And I'm like, that's a villain.
Yeah.
Like a religious man coming out of prison, that's a villain, straight up. And I think he was a Jehovah's Witness, dude. Like I'm pretty sure in Cape Fear he was a Jehovah's Witness because he was killing motherfuckers.
Fuck yeah.
I do like some of the stuff that they do, like the charity work they sometimes do. They were a big part of the March of Dimes when it first started, then they kind of got out of it. But one that I thought was kind of funny is Jehovah's Witnesses don't do blood transfusions. Oh yeah, they kind of bow out on that.
I don't remember why.
Yeah, I don't think that's in the Bible. Unless it was a guy
found a way. They found a way.
There's a lot of things in the Bible you can find a way. We both know that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember reading about that and asking a friend of mine, like, because we had blood drives in school, and if you were a senior, you could give blood.
Yeah.
You didn't need your parents' permission. And I remember giving blood my first time there. Did you ever give blood in high school?
I don't think I did in high school.
Yeah.
But I've given blood.
Yeah. But I remember doing that, and the girl I knew who was a Jehovah's Witness, they gave her the paper, and she had signed off yes, and then her parents showed up and said no, she can't do that. Because apparently she had told her parents she was going to give blood that day.
Why'd they have to show up?
I think she had just not told them.
A simple phone call would have sufficed.
I don't know, man. You know how that is.
We got to go door to door.
Yeah, you gotta have all your blood. You gotta have all your blood to go door to door. You can't just be walking out here with fucking orange juice and crackers. But I remember what was funny was I'm relatively the size I was in high school. Still, I was 6'2", 280 pounds, I think. They sent these two girls to grab me from class to take me to the auditorium to do my blood draw, right? And they test your iron before you do it to make sure you can give blood. And everything was good, so I gave a pint and a half. Gave extra. And they're like, hey, we're going to have so-and-so walk you back to your class. I'm like, why? She said, well, you gave a lot of blood, so, just in case we don't want you to fall out. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. And then they gave, this girl that was with me was a sophomore who was like 5 foot tall, maybe 90 pounds. And like, I'm walking with her, and I'm just like, you ain't going to do shit if I fall out. If my head hits this concrete,
that's on your hands.
That's on your hands. I was scaring the shit out of her. I was just like, if I die, I die. So you might want to run and get help instead of trying to help me.
And I don't believe in God, so I hope you do.
Nah, I'm more of a it is what it is kind of guy. One of them scary motherfuckers. You don't want to hear a guy say that one too many times. Hey, I think your house is on fire. It is what it is. Did
you set the giant mass on the side of your neck? It is what it is.
Oh God. There's a gunman in the school. Hey, it is what it is. You start sharpening your fucking pencil. It's like, it is what it is.
I was in Grenada, motherfucker.
I was in Grenada. had a friend named Timmy. He was from Dallas. We called him Brooklyn. Just sharpening your fucking pistol the whole time. Yeah, we were there. He said, grab the flamethrower, turn the village to ash. Shit, it's like Grenada? Y'all over there saying college kids, Heartbreak Ridge. Not burn down villages against fucking Vietnam. Oh, that's another thing. They're conscientious objectors. I forgot all about that. Jehovah's Witness are conscientious objectors.
Oh, yeah.
They don't support any war or
That's why my dad didn't go.
Your dad's like, I'm no pussy, so I'm not going.
Do 13 years for this bullshit.
Yeah. Joseph to tell me I'm a baby killer. Fuck them.
Go smoke cigarettes and play golf like a fucking capitalist.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's kind of funny. I walk up here, I come in here and you're watching
disc golf,
frisbee golf or whatever, and I'm thinking that is the next golf for us, for our generation. It's no 18 holes with Jim Nance on fucking NBC. It's fucking disc golf. Because that's what it sounded like. It sounded like a golf thing when you were watching.
Oh yeah,
it. And I'm just like, is he watching golf? Like, Mikey doesn't have golf money. That lying motherfucker. But yeah, on ESPN The Ocho, frisbee golf, disc golf.
Frisbee golf.
But it did look like golf though. I will say
it's
that.
the exact same as golf, just with frisbees.
Yeah, same rich motherfuckers. Except every now and then you'll get this guy from like California, fucking San Bernardino.
Well, not most of them, because they don't make a ton of cash.
Yeah.
Most of it's like sponsorships, but even then, there's still a lot of small businesses supporting them. A lot of them just live in a van and just travel and play disc golf.
That's life, man.
That sounds
just
pretty sweet.
Just throwing a fucking frisbee all day?
Yeah. Damn good at it.
Damn, those hippies in the 60s were wrong. They found the wrong thing to do. They had to wait for this generation.
They were just playing catch. Fucking amateurs.
Catch a bullet from a Viet Cong. So, now you said your dad was in the military. Was he in for like a war, or was he in just for the BN?
He was in while Desert Storm was going on.
Okay, was he there?
I don't think so. He was mainly overseas, Germany.
Oh, okay, because he had a few kids probably.
Yeah, and he was a truck driver, so he was.
And you said
you're gone a lot.
And you said your mom was from Germany?
Yeah.
Like straight from Germany?
Yeah.
And she was part of Jehovah's Witnesses like at a younger age?
Not at a younger age, no. Her family was Catholic.
Okay.
Yeah.
So hardcore European Catholic.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What brought her to, do you know what brought her to becoming a Jehovah's Witness?
I think it was just a family that lived on the... So it had to have been after, yeah. It was after they moved, or she moved to the States. And then one of the families on the military base was also...
Okay.
And I guess when you're a foreigner and you're still kind of learning English, and they probably hit her in that sweet spot of time.
How's your mom's English?
It's good. Yeah. It's good now. I don't hear her accent at all, but other people definitely do.
She just gets really riled up when someone in a Volkswagen goes by and it's like, just gets riled the fuck up.
She doesn't get angry riled up. She gets real sassy riled up. She'll talk a lot of shit.
Oh, see, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's a good German anger.
Yeah.
Sassy.
Yeah.
That's good. I've never heard it described that way. Not German anger.
Yeah.
A lot of German anger is very aggressive and a lot of burn the books.
Yeah. Oh, aggressive. No burning books, though.
Yeah. You burn the books and we start with the people. Well, do you know whereabout in Germany she was from?
Close to Frankfurt.
Okay.
A small town outside of...
Because that's what Mecklenburg County is named after, a town in Germany.
Word. Nice.
Area in Germany.
Yeah, my parents were there when the Berlin Wall came down.
Fuck yeah, party until break of dawn.
Yeah.
That'd be one part of history I think I would love to go see. Just a bunch of fucking crust punks out there busting some bricks.
Busting up some bricks and
Listen to fucking Judas Priest and goddamn
I think they
Queen.
had a piece of it for a while.
See, that would be cool to have.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to it.
So, like, going into, like, the times you were there, was there a lot of, like, restrictions on the stuff you had to learn in school, or was there, like, any type of etiquette they said that had to be done, like, for your family outside of church or outside of the hall?
Not really. Like, they kind of did. Like, I remember 4th grade, I was in an AIG group, so there's, like, 10 of us that would go to a separate classroom. And around Christmas time, the teacher started playing Christmas music. So after everyone had left class to go back to their regular classes, I told her, I was like, hey, like, technically I'm not supposed to be listening to Christmas music. Yeah. And then I felt fucking terrible afterwards.
Oh, damn.
I was like, what?
Guilt tripped you.
Yeah, I guess they guilt tripped me into feeling compelled to do that, and then I felt terrible because I was like, I'm a fucking snitch. Like, I just ruined the fun for everybody.
Oh no! Did they stop the Christmas music or let it ride?
She did.
Oh, you
yeah,
bastard.
I know.
You rat
felt
fuck.
so bad.
That's that one guy in this class. He's just like, Miss Patterson, what about the homework? And it's just like everybody just turns around and like, we're gonna kick the living dog shit out of you, bro. You forgot to assign homework. Oh, fuck you, dude. Oh man, I don't think that's ever happened in my time in school, except when we were talking about the Holocaust in high school. There was a guy who, it's not really a religious thing. It was probably more of like his parents say more or less that I don't think this is real because my parents told me it's not true.
Right.
And it wasn't so like, hey, we're going to stop learning because this guy's parents told him that the Holocaust didn't happen.
Right.
But it was more of, shut the fuck up. Like, we're going to learn this.
Right.
Now, did you know anything about the Jehovah's Witnesses during that time? Like, did they ever bring that up during like any type of sermon, like persecution of Jehovah's Witnesses or anything like that?
During the Holocaust?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They talked about that?
Oh yeah. It was
because that's a big thing about German history.
like there was a few times where, like I said, like every Sunday was different. So we had a few people that would kind of focus their whole lesson or lecture around that, tie it in somehow.
Now, did they ever do like the whole fire and brimstone a lot? Like
No.
The end is coming, you're going to hell.
No, there was no hell.
Oh, yeah.
They don't believe in hell.
That's right.
You die and you're gone forever. Sucks to suck.
It sucks to suck.
Is what it is.
It is what it is. Hey, what's that? That's God on Faithful and True, motherfucker. Yeah. It is what it is. Well, I'm sharpening the demon's horn that I killed this morning. It's like, it is what it is. You know?
It's what it is.
Just making my fucking demon bullets. It is what it is.
You've got 139,999 tattooed on your arm.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Oh wait. I remember. What was the?
I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to the top.
I remember hearing an analogy. I forget what movie it was. He's like, "Look, I'm not telling you to hurry, but I'm saying Noah's Ark's full and it's starting to rain." I'm just like, what a fucking analogy. The boat's full and it's starting to rain. It's time for you to get the fuck going.
Yeah.
I can imagine Jehovah's Witnesses are like that like every other day. Just like, yeah, we got it up to 139,000. You might want to hurry the fuck up. Now, what do they? Do you know what they believe when it happened? When like you had said one of the 144,000 was in the Colosseum or whatever.
Yeah.
What if they die before the rapture? Do they just toss up another number?
Well, the way I was taught was there's 144,000 and they're already like predetermined.
Okay.
Like before they're even born. And then once they all die and go to heaven and join Jesus and God is when the rapture happens, or the Armageddon happens on earth.
Yeah.
And Jesus comes down with the 144,000 and some other angels, I guess, and kills all the wicked people.
Oh, wow.
Restores earth to a perfect paradise, locks Satan away for 1,000 years. And then after we've been on been on earth for 1,000 years and we're all perfect, he's supposed to come back and tempt us again.
Oh.
Yeah. And then they come back and kill Satan for good and whoever joined him.
Huh.
And then we live on earth forever and never die, never grow old, I guess never repopulate. Never...
See, that's kind of a nicer ending compared to some cults I've read about.
Yeah.
Some cults I've read about. It's a lot bloodier than that. A lot bloodier than that. Other than Mormons. Mormons, I think, have a pretty cool one where you get your own planet.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of like that idea. But you get all your wives.
Yeah.
Because they believe, like, even the LDS ones have, like, you're married and they die, you get remarried. That's still your wife. Like, you could have...
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, like, well, that's... like, you'll have two.
Oh,
as
true.
opposed to, like, the polygamous, the FLDS, who do
Right.
multiple wives constantly. It looks like a fucking softball team.
FLDS fucking love.
Oh, don't try to do it on the fly, man. Don't try to do it on the fly. Oh God, fundamentalist Latter-day Saints. That's it. Don't try to do that on the fly. You gotta be quick on the trigger for something like that. That's something you Jehovah's Witnesses ain't quick about.
Yeah,
ain't quick on the trigger. Did y'all have any like famous members other than? Well, you had Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson was Jehovah's Witness.
Oh, and Prince.
Prince was a famous one.
Yeah,
Prince was a shit, but
never met him.
Yeah, but that guy.
That's fucked up.
That guy I don't think was knee deep in the Jehovah's Witness part.
Yeah.
Nah, no one who plays guitar like that is
right.
sober and non-sinful.
Yeah.
No one sings Purple Rain like that and doesn't think about doing something wrong. Hell yeah, was there another one that was a famous like any other famous people?
I don't think so. If there were, they didn't talk about them.
Now, did y'all have that other magazine? I think it was called like Awake. Did y'all have that one?
I know that sounds familiar.
Yeah, I know that was another one because the Watchtower is the big one.
Yeah,
that's like a full magazine, ain't it?
Yeah, full magazine.
Yeah, and is it like a weekly or monthly thing, or do you remember?
Weekly. I think it varied. Honestly think there was a shift where it went from weekly to monthly while we were there because of like financing, and there's also a few stories you can find online about the Watchtower where some guys had gotten like worked their way up in there and then they were laundering like a shit ton of money, and
that's the way to do it.
Yeah, man.
See, that's the fun thing about cults.
Capitalism first.
Well, that's what cults are. Cults are very capitalistic at first. You know, at the end at least. You know, the Rajneeshis. You know, they built their own town. You know, they followed the rules of government of the United States very closely, and made a shit ton of money. Turned a desert into paradise. That's what they literally did. That little part of Idaho, Oregon, or whatever, where they lived, is a paradise now. Like, it's a forest, you know, green fields, and you're talking about a place.
Are they still there, or
no?
Is there a tragic end to that story?
Well, going into it, just a quick little summary is there was a leader in the Americas.
That's like post 9/11. You got a name like the Rajneeshis.
No, this was pre 9/11. This was the 80s.
Okay, so that's.
And there was a lady named Ma Nan Sheila. She's the only cult leader I respect.
Dude, she sounds hot.
She was the most Americanized immigrant I have ever seen in my life.
Sounds like a Mortal Kombat fighter.
Ma Nan Sheila could fuck Scorpion's day up, son. Yeah. And she was more of those like, hey, welcome. Thank you for your time, blah, blah, blah. Here's a MAC 10.
Yeah, I was about to say, here's an AK-47.
Here's some MAC 10. Here's some aviators. Here's a fucking cool-ass vest. Some bad... Like, they had a look, a very chic look, like, to kind of draw this out to younger listeners. They got that drip.
Yeah.
You know, they were swag. But, like, picture a cultist in, like, ox blood pants, bell bottoms, ox blood fucking reddish, like a ruby red vest, pink and orange collared button up shirt, 3-piece,
Yeah.
Nice tie, whatever. Aviators, long hair, beard, and a MAC 10. And like just like MAC 10 submachine gun.
Hell yeah.
I'm like, see that guy? You don't fuck around with him.
Yeah.
Oh, and they had beads. They had beads, and the guy they worshiped, Osho, which was a bearded Indian fella.
God be with you.
And yeah, God be with you, motherfucker. They were the bully cult that turned crazy.
That sucks.
There's a good documentary about him called Wild Wild Country. It's fascinating.
Oh yeah. I haven't seen that.
Yeah.
But
if you watch that, Ma Nan Sheila.
Hear about it a lot.
Ma Nan Sheila ran that shit, and then she got tired of being pushed around, so she's like, maybe I'll create some chemical fucking weapons. And everybody's like, oh, fuck. And then it takes a turn.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, Sheila. You're losing me, bitch.
No, Sheila, what is you doing?
I remember, did y'all have like the special, I know a few of them do. Some Jehovah's Witnesses have not a symbol, but a sign that says they're Jehovah's Witnesses on the outside of their house.
Right.
Did y'all have one of those, or know anyone that had one of those?
I don't think so.
So there was. I forget.
Come to think of it, I think a big part of it, at least what we were taught, was like symbols in general, like the cross or like anything was a no-go.
Yeah.
Like
this was it was a. I don't want to say it was a symbol. It was more of like a sign.
Yeah. That
was in the window near the door. A lot of people had because I remember hearing a story about a guy who was grifting people, and he had saw that symbol into an older lady's house, and he's like, "Ma'am, I wouldn't ask, but I saw that you were a brother in Christ, you know," and she looks him up and down. She's like, "Get away from my house, wolf!" It closes the door, and he was targeting her because of her charitable attitude, because she's a Jehovah's Witness. And I was like, "Oh, that was quick," Oh man, I remember seeing that and then asking people about it. They're like, "Yeah, we have one of those outside our house," but it was like a little sign,
Right.
Yeah, and it was kind of wild, kind of seeing that growing up. Did y'all ever have times where y'all just didn't go because you just didn't want to go, or did your mom like kind of make you go?
There was a few times we didn't go if she didn't want to go, and then there was a few times I was able to weasel myself out of going. I remember one in particular I stayed because it was the Panthers playoff game to get into the Super Bowl, and I really wanted to watch it with my friend's family. And so I didn't have to go that day. And then I got borderline sick off of potato skins and Mountain Dew. And the Panthers fucking won and went to the Super Bowl.
Hell yeah.
It was a good time.
But
A couple months later, we saw Janet Jackson's boobies.
oh, I remember that. Yeah, sinful. That's what. Very sinful. Shame on you.
Ah, damn it.
Did you ever, like after you guys got out, did y'all ever go to another church afterward, or?
We didn't. I did.
Oh yeah.
But only because of girls I was interested in high school.
Flirty fishing.
Yeah. I don't know. It wasn't so much flirty fishing.
Well, no, flirty fishing meant they fuck you.
Yeah.
What kind of church was it? You remember?
It was a Southern Baptist.
Oh, okay.
One of those.
An old fashioned.
It wasn't old fashioned at all. It's.
I know, but like that's what they called it, old fashioned.
Oh yeah.
Just Southern Baptist Catholics of the South.
Yeah. It was very much just the preachy, like the preacher is definitely world class salesman. Jesus loves you, good vibes.
Well, when we started going to that Baptist church,
Shitty church band.
yeah, we didn't have a band, but the preacher's daughter was a grade ahead of me in school. And we had a lot of classes together.
Yeah.
And I remember me and her arguing a lot about the dumbest shit.
Yeah.
She was a big Beatles fan, and she had saw Paul McCartney live and all this stuff. I'm just like, the Beatles fucking suck. Rolling Stones are better, or Led Zeppelin. I would always say like Led Zeppelin's fucking better. And we just get these fucking arguments. And I remember going to church one day, and we were in Sunday school, and I had just gotten a copy of Latter Days by Led Zeppelin. It was early days and latter days. Do a 2-disc set or something. My buddy was letting me borrow, and I was just humming that shit the whole fucking time I was in there. And they're like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "The best fucking band ever, man, fucking Led Zeppelin." And she just makes this fucking face at me. She's like, "Really? Again?" I'm like, "The Beatles still suck." But I remember some of the people we went to school with being part of like the other churches, the non-denominational churches,
or the Methodists.
The Methodists. Oh man, I had told a story on this show, on this network before, about my dad going to buy a car with his dad, and they wouldn't buy a car from him because he was a Methodist. And I'm like, I don't even know any Methodists like that. Like, are they that bad people?
I honestly don't even know what the difference is.
So they believe in a version of Calvinism, which is the erasure of sin.
Mm-hmm.
There's just two different beliefs where in baptism you can be freely saved. Methodists don't believe that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so
a little more hardcore.
Yeah, a little bit more hardcore. The idea of washing your sins away isn't part of the Methodist religion.
Gotcha.
A good version of like Baptist is that old timey down by the creek kind of baptism, where they go down into like a stream or a lake or something.
Take me down to the river.
Well, it's like, "Oh brother, where art thou?"
Yeah.
You know, that's a Baptist. That's an old school Baptist right there. Where he's just, his dumb hick ass is coming out of the water. "Come on in, friends, the water is fine. He forgive me for all my sins, even that Piggly Wiggly I knocked up in Wazoo." Wait, you said you didn't do that? I lied. And he washed away that sin too. It's free and clear and ever everlasting for me, son. And I'm just like, Yeah, that's my kind of religion.
Fuck yeah.
Now, did y'all do did you ever witness baptisms in church while you were there, or at the hall, or did they do like an outside thing?
They did them at the assemblies, so the big ones. Yeah.
Okay.
So they would carve out like 3 hours because it was a 3-day thing. So the last day it was just a fucking line of baptisms.
Damn.
Yeah.
It's industrial line.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I got lucky on the third day though because I had a tooth that fell out. So
you can't go in there.
No, I got.
They had a thing. I didn't realize it till the day we went. Was the Baptist church we went to? The behind the altar, the wall, there was a tank behind the wall that you could fill with water and baptize people.
Nice.
I didn't know it was there. So when they took that part of the wall off, and I saw a clear tank, and I see my cousin walking up there, I'm just like, what the fuck is going on?
A fucking magic show.
Yeah, dude, they're doing baptisms. And, like,
yeah, they went all out, dude. They had like a giant tank and like.
Yeah, the Baptist church had that too when we went to. My grandpa's church did not have that. His was a tiny church. I remember, like, I will say this: we went from a church that my grandpa went to that was preaching at, which had a congregation of 5, to a congregation of probably 80 people.
Right.
Yeah. So. But yeah, see that, like, it is like a magic show where it's like, let me just move this wall and it's a tank of water.
The Jehovah's Witness, it was considered like much more a badge of honor.
Yeah.
So I feel like Baptists, like if you just decide you want to get baptized, you can do it. For them, it was like you had to,
you're deep
like first voice that you wanted to do it, and then you had to go to like meetings and like
work for it.
Yeah, you had to work for it, like read scripture, memorize lines. Probably a little similar to like Freemasonry.
Yeah, a lot of. Well, I imagine Jehovah's Witnesses have a lot to say about Freemasonry.
I'm sure they do.
Devil cultists. That kind of goes into the story of Mormons a little bit. They took a lot of their stuff and made it their own. A lot of Masonry stuff and a lot of ritual going into that. And I can't wait to start doing an episode on that. But yeah, man, I think that was a pretty good story. Thanks for being on the episode, man.
Yeah, totally.
Do you have anything you want to talk about? You're part of Collective Insanity. Anything going on with them?
Follow us on Facebook, Instagram.
You guys got a show coming up.
Spotify.
Right.
We announce all our shows on our social medias, Collective Insanity Band. Next show's July 15th, Spartanburg, South Carolina. And July 29th in Gastonia.
Ooh, the Gas House.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bring your guns, folks.
Bring your guns.
All right, Mikey, thank you for being on the show. We always love having you. Everybody check out everything else on the Something Good Network. Couch Potatoes, Something Good For You, History We Forgot, brand new series. Check it out. Again, thanks, Mikey, for coming on the show.
Thanks
and
for
see
having
y'all
me.
in the next go around.
You've been listening to the Something Good Network. If you liked what you heard, you can follow us on Instagram and check out the other great shows on the network. Link is in the episode description.